Good morning. My name is Blake Livingston, and I'll be your chairperson for today's Dharma school service. Are there any visitors or new students and families here this morning? If so, welcome to our temple. Could those of you sitting near them help to find the proper pages for sutras, gathas, and readings? Thank you. First, we'll have Sanbujo on page 24 in the Big Book, followed by Sutra Chanting, Juseige on page 23 in the Little Book, or page 93 in the Big Book. The page numbers for the Sutra book will be displayed on the front screen and on your monitors at home, so please follow along. Please rise to sing the Gatha Amida Shrine, which is on page 34 in the small Dharma School service book, followed by the Golden Chain, which is located on page 2 in the little book, or page 15 in the big book under Golden Chain 1. The Golden Chain. I am a link in Amida's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Betsuin.
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 Namo Amida.
Now we will have a Dharma lesson by Mr. Akizuki.
Please join me in reciting the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Betsuin. Namo Amida Betsuin. Namo Amida Betsuin. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us this morning in the Hondo, and thank you for those of you who are watching at home on YouTube. So we're in the middle of the holiday season, right? I mean, we've enjoyed Thanksgiving. 2 weeks ago, we celebrated Bodhi Day, the day more than 2,500 years ago when a former prince attained enlightenment and became Shakyamuni Buddha. Right after service, we broke ground for the new Dharma Center across the street. You may have missed Rinban, Sakamoto, and Mikame taking turns using the jackhammer and to kind of help with that groundbreaking. Today we have our annual Mochisuki. Mochi are rice cakes. Suki means pound, beat, or strike, so it's pounding rice cakes. That's what Mochisuki means. Traditional Japanese activity around New Year's. And it's also been an important part of the Japanese-American experience. You have a chance in a few minutes to do that in the multi-purpose room. You can pound mochi, but most of the mochi is going to be made by machines. Either way, it'll be fun. It'll be fun to make it, and eating mochi. Eating mochi warm is kind of like the best, right? I mean, that's the best mochi to have. But the big holiday this month is, of course, Christmas, right? It's reminded of all the time. You know, like the weather outside is frightful, and you kind of get into that mood. But then you say, wait a second, I'm Buddhist. So, but we're reminded of Christmas everywhere, right? Christmas trees, Christmas sales, Christmas parties, Christmas light, Christmas decorations, Christmas songs played in stores, shopping for Christmas presents, people saying Merry Christmas all the time. Christmas is everywhere, but again, we're Buddhists. So, how do you feel about this? I'll ask a question. Anybody feel kind of awkward or uncomfortable or conflicted? Anybody? No? Yes? What do you feel? How do you feel? Anybody?
I find it kind of annoying, but that's just me.
Not annoying, okay. Anybody else? Okay, well, I enjoy Christmas. I like Christmas songs, right? That's kind of weird, right? When I was working, I had a friend who would do a CD a mixtape of Christmas songs they would hand out. And one time I went down to Southern California and I played this CD over and over again but deep down in the recesses of my mind, there's these nagging thoughts about, mixed feelings like, but I'm Buddhist, and how does this, can I enjoy Christmas? Should I enjoy Christmas? But I'm here to tell you, kind of like, it's okay. It's okay to enjoy Christmas. It's okay to get into the Christmas spirit. Jodo Shinshu Buddhists in the United States have embraced Christmas for as long as we've been here, right? We can't get away from it, right? But we celebrate it as like a non-religious celebration. I think we can identify with Christmas values of like generosity, peace, goodwill. There are even some Buddhist-influenced ways of celebrating the season. I talked to Rinban Sakamoto a few days ago, and he was saying when he was up in White River, which is kind of like in Washington, the temple there, they would have a tree and they would decorate it, and they would call it a Bodhi tree, yes. And after Bodhi Day, they would actually donate it to someone else to use as a Christmas tree. So that's a nice kind of tradition that they have. I don't know if they still do it, but in Reverend Rinban's time there, that's what they did. Reverend Jerry Hirano of the Salt Lake City Temple. Anybody know Reverend Hirano? Yeah, so he's actually was here. So he's Reverend Hirano. His photo's back there. Reverend Jerry Hirano. Well, he loves Christmas. He talks about this often around Christmas time. He says, he said that when he was a boy, if his father told him you couldn't celebrate Christmas if you were a Buddhist, then he would have replied, then I'm not a Buddhist. But Reverend Hirano actually sees nothing inconsistent with being Buddhist and celebrating Christmas, just the opposite. He says, the essence of Christmas is the spirit of what all Buddhists strive for. What he means by that, striving for joy, joyful holiday spirit, goodwill towards all. I found an article about 8 Buddhists who talk about being Buddhists and celebrating Christmas. And the headline to this story is, "Have a Very Buddhist Christmas." And one of them is a monk in the Thai Buddhist tradition. His name is Bhante Sudaso. And he says Christmas is a time to practice Buddhist teachings of generosity, consideration, kindness, and mutual regard. He called this a perfect time to perfect our compassion. In his view, giving gifts puts compassion into action, right? By giving a gift, we're focusing on that person, not ourselves. It's a way, if we choose, to express our gratitude to that person, what that person has done for us, what that person means to us, right? So I'd finished this talk, and it's very short, as you can tell. And then I found something kind of interesting that I'll just relate to you. And it's also how Buddhists relate to Christmas. And it's featured in a television series, The Simpsons. People know The Simpsons? Are there Simpsons fans out there? Okay, right. It's about Homer, Marge, Lisa, Maggie, and Marge, the wife. So Bart, I'm sorry. I don't watch The Simpsons. But in this episode, Lisa Simpson becomes disillusioned with her church, her Christian church. And after a while, she decides to become Buddhist. Anybody seen this episode? So she becomes a Buddhist, and because she finds a Buddhist temple in her community, and there she's taught by Richard Gere. Anybody know who Richard Gere is? Richard Gere is a famous actor, but he's a Buddhist. He's Tibetan Buddhist. He's very well known for his being Tibetan Buddhist. So Lisa becomes a Buddhist. What does she do? In her backyard of her family home, she plants a Bodhi tree. And she meditates. So, but the family becomes kind of distressed about this. Well, she's Buddhist, we're Christian. So Marge, her mother, tries to gets her back to Christianity, baking cookies, using Christmas as a lure. So Lisa goes back and talks to Richard Gere and tries to tell her that, my family's trying to trick me to become Christian again, right? Giving all these cookies and all these lures to kind of get me back to Christianity. And Richard Gere tells Lisa that while Buddhism is about trying to find inner peace, it also respects other religions that are based on love and compassion. So Lisa is free to celebrate Christmas or any other religious holiday with her family. So then Lisa goes back and she actually goes to sleep under the Christmas tree. She wakes up and tells her mother that she will be celebrating Christmas with the family, but she's still going to be Buddhist. So there you have it. So if you don't believe what I say about you can be Buddhist and enjoy Christmas and celebrate Christmas, then you can take it from Reverend Hirano, you could take it from Bhante Sudaso, you could take it from Richard Gere, and you could take it from Lisa Simpson. And apparently Lisa Simpson is still a Buddhist. It's some episodes of it following that episode. It's mentioned that she's still a Buddhist. So there you have it. Lisa Simpson, a Buddhist. Who would have thought that? I didn't know that. So that's kind of cool. So anyway, perfectly fine. So don't feel guilty to celebrate Christmas. Just remember who you are. And then also, remember to say Namo Amida Butsu when you have that Christmas meal, okay? So please join me in Gassho and reciting in Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Akizuki. Please rise to sing the Gatha farewell on page 45 in the Little Service Book, followed by the promise located on page 5 in the Little Book or page 15 in the Big Book.
Dharma school is over for another day. Let us gather round the shrine, bow our heads and say, thank you, teacher, for your help. Thank you, everyone. Buddha's love will keep us safe till our work is done. So we'll meet again next week. Won't you take good care? Let us try to do what's right, always kind and fair. We shall spread the happiness faith in Buddha brings. Now it's time to say goodbye till we meet again. Namu Amida Butsu, sing this fine refrain. Namu Amida Butsu, sunny day or rain. Namu Amida Butsu, strong in faith remain. Namu Amida Butsu, till we meet again.
The promise. We thank Buddha for showing us the way of freedom. We will endeavor to walk in his noble path every day of our lives. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you to Reverend Sakamoto, Rinban Sakamoto, Reverend Mikame, Reverend Jones, Mr. Akizuki, Mr. Rowling, Organist, Mrs. Jones, and AV Coordinator, Mr. Kitagawa. Are there any announcements?
Hi, everyone. I'm Randy Cow, one of the Troop 611 ASMs. Troop 611 is having our e-waste event on Saturday, January 31st from 9 to 3. So if you have any electronic waste to get rid of, that would be a great day. We're hoping to have it in the 4th Street lot, assuming that there's no construction going on, but if it's not, we'll direct it somewhere in the neighborhood, either probably on 5th Street. So if you have anything, the organizations here in the church, if you have things to e-waste to get rid of, now would be a good time to do it with the cleanup as well. Thank you.
Morning. Let's see. Next Sunday, we're just having a family service, 10 o'clock. Okay, so no Dharma school next week. But if you want to come for the family service, we'll have that at 10 o'clock here in the Hondo. As I've mentioned, I think before, New Year's Eve, 7 p.m. here in the Hondo, Joya E service. Reverend Sakamoto's last service. So might be crowded, standing room only. And you get to ring the Kansho? So anyway, and then the next day, of course, is New Year's Day service, 10 o'clock in the gym. Obviously, Reverend Adams' first day of duty here. So hopefully you can join us for that. Let's see. For those of you who signed up, we have the Irecho project coming the first week of January. I think it's the 8th to the 11th, Thursday to Sunday, something like that. So just a reminder to do that. And as part of that, we have on the 11th, we have a special guest speaker. So Reverend Dr. Duncan Buchanan Williams, whose talk will be The Power of Remembrance, the Buddhist Inspiration for the Ire Project. So if you don't know what the Irecho is, it's a book that, I forgot who started it, but one person started it and collected all the names of everybody who served in the internment camps during World War II. And so to acknowledge that, they've been inviting people to come in and stamp the book, whether it's people you knew or relatives or something like that. My wife, daughter, and I went last, I want to say December, down to the Japanese American National History Museum in LA, and we stamped various names. My wife stamped names on her side of the family. I went and stamped my grandmother and my grandfather, and they had four kids, including my mom. So you can stamp usually a maximum of 6. So for me, it was perfect. There were my mom, my 2 uncles, an aunt, and my grandparents. So I was able to stamp there. So that's coming in there, and so he's going to speak on that project. So hopefully you can join us here on the 11th. That'll be at the 10:10 service. And then on the 18th, we have our Honko service here that day. So we'll be celebrating Honko that day. And that's also the day of our New Year's luncheon. Again, if you wish to go to the luncheon, please get your, I want to say entries, that's the wrong word, but make your reservations. It's $25 for a regular bento lunch, $25 for a vegetarian lunch, and $5 for a pizza lunch for those of us who don't want that Japanese food stuff, you just want pizza. Okay, thank you.
Before everyone leaves the temple, please straighten all the books for your next service. Those of you who are interested are welcome to attend the adult English service following this service. For your safety, please obey the crossing guards and look both ways before crossing the street. Thank you for attending today's service, and happy holidays.
Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Please come forward for a shoko. And if you want to hear part 2 of Mr. Akizuki's talk, stick around for the 10:10 service.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, right. Sure,
The
yeah.
way Americans,
Yeah. Right.
it's not very Japanese.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That'd be
But
fun. Yeah.
please come casual,
Okay.
you know,
Got it.
and
Yeah, yeah.
coming as a friend.
Okay, and then
It's
Frank.
cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
All right. Okay. Thank you. So we're excited.
Welcome home. How are you? Tired? Oh. Here. Yes. I like it. Right? Reminds me of the Yunche. What's our place? Do you know what's that? Korean Akizuki idol. Look at that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've had a lot of nicknames this week.
Really?
Yeah.
Right here. Winnie.
Yeah, I know. Hi. It's good to see you in person. Hi. Nice to see you.
Oh, give you. Yeah. Okay, don't worry about it. Yeah. We need some fun. Good to see you again.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Gloria Yamauchi, and I'll be your chair for this morning. Before we begin this morning's service, just a reminder, no food or drinks in the hondo, and please turn off your cell phones. Thanks so much. We'll begin this morning's service with Sanbujo on page 24 in the large service book, followed by Sutra chanting, Juseige on page 23 in the small Dharma service book, and on page 93 in the large service book. The page numbers are displayed on the front screen and on your monitors at home, so please follow along.
Namandavs, 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 namandavs.
Okay, we have a special treat this morning. Our Gatha will be Shinran-sama on page 86 in the small service book, and we're going to be accompanied by the Shakuhachi Club. So please give them a minute to set up.
Soyokaze wataru asa no mado akakute no hira awase tsutsu Namo Amida Butsu Tonaereba Shinran Sama wa Nikoyaka ni Watashi no Tonari ni irashuru Hirameku yozora Hoshi no kage Arashi ni kiete mo kakurete mo Namu Amida Butsu Tonaereba Shinran Sama wa Tomoshibi yo Watashi no yukute ni kazasareru Kono yo no tabi no akekure ni Sabishii inochi o nageku toki Namu Amida Butsu Tonaereba Shinran Sama wa Yori no te Watashi no te o tori ayumareru Very nice. Oh, we can applaud the Shakuhachi Club.
Please remain standing for the three treasures.
Three treasures on page 3 of the smaller book. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves the supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Please be seated.
And now Reverend Jones will give this morning's Dharma talk.
Thank you, Gloria. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Well, good morning. Thanks for being here. I know it's getting a little cool out, a little windy. And thanks for those of you sitting in your warm home in front of the TV set watching this later or now. So you may know that sometimes when we do opening Gassho for a talk, we'll have a quote from Shinran or from the Buddha or Renyo or something like that. Try as I might, I couldn't find one about Christmas. It's just a few days before Christmas, and so I hope you've gotten all your shopping done. I know we were out yesterday early, and it was still getting to be crazy. I once knew a man that would leave his shopping for his wife until after 7 p.m. on Christmas Eve. I thought he was nuts, but he would go out there after 7 o'clock, and he didn't know exactly what he wanted to get, but he'd go out there because he always felt like he could negotiate down the price because it was so late on Christmas Eve. And, he was right. He was successful most times, so more power to him. I've only left my shopping to the last minute like that a couple of times over my lifetime, and it wasn't fun. But here we are in a Buddhist temple, and I'm talking about Christmas. So, Dennis, I promise these talks aren't the same for those of you who were at 9:30 service, but there's some similar topics. So we're talking about Christmas. And I remember a few years ago, Rinban Sakamoto telling us he was asked, as a Buddhist minister, do you have a Christmas tree? And he said, well, of course. Where else would you put the presents? So, it's not too uncommon, right? We're reminded constantly that we're in a primarily Christian society. However, you know how many other religious holidays are experienced in the November, December, January time frame? I mean, there's a whole load of them, just a few here. The Christians have Advent, Christmas, both Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, St. Stephen's Day, Three Kings Day. The Catholics, yes, I know they're Christian too, but they also have their special ones. In addition to the other Christian celebrations, they have the Immaculate Conception, Our Lady of Guadalupe, only in the Americas, and the Solemnity of Mary. The Jewish community celebrates Hanukkah and Tu B'Shavat. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Muslims observe Fatimiyya Day or Shia, Lalat al-Miraj, or the Night of the Ascension, and Lalat al-Barat, or Forgiveness Night. As Buddhists, we have Bodhi Day, or Rohatsu for Zen Buddhism, and Honko for Shin Buddhists. Then there are a host of other traditions: Yule, Kwanzaa, Zarathos Diso, Loi, the winter solstice. So there are many celebrations that are happening in this time of year, not just Bodhi Day, not just Christmas. As a society, we tend to focus on Christmas, but in my opinion, we focus on it for the wrong reason. If we thought of it as a season of gift giving, then at least it would give some connection to Dharma. But in our society, we seem to be more focused on gift getting. While we do not want to take away the wonder and joy of our children during these days, we should take the time to help them understand the bigger picture of what this season can really mean. When you think about this time of year, and I'm talking all the way from Thanksgiving through the end of January, what comes to mind? Some of us may focus on Christmas, the gifts, the decorations, maybe even the music. Like Dennis, I love Christmas music. You know, it's hard to pass it up. Others may be less positive and think about the crowded stores or the parking lots, the angry drivers trying to find a parking space, the impatient people standing in line, especially on Christmas Eve. Some may be looking forward to the TV Christmas specials or your favorite Christmas movie, like Die Hard, or TV shows, right? But did you think about Bodhi Day? Or Honko? Do you look forward to ringing the Kansho at the Joyei service? Or were you more focused on the food, family, and the friends who will be in attendance at Bachan's house on New Year's Day? After, of course, you come to the Shushoe service here at the temple. But what do you suppose the non-Christians do on Christmas Day? After all, most of the stores are closed, the restaurants, most of them are shut. When our oldest son, Stuart, was in Japan for his junior year of college, we visited him in Tokyo. And Christmas Day is very different there than here, right? It's a huge shopping day. Everybody's getting ready for their New Year's Day celebration. So the grocery stores and the specialty food stores were absolutely packed. It's very different watching that and trying to be part of it and fighting through the crowds on Christmas Day. All of this comes down to the priorities we have in our lives. What's important to us? When our kids are young, we want them to experience the happiness and joy of Christmas. As they grow up, we want them to appreciate the things and the people around them. Once they become young adults, we expect them to show some appreciation for family and the things that have been provided for them. Then they meet somebody, fall in love, turn their attention to making each other happy, and the cycle begins all over again. Now, I'm not suggesting that we change that cycle at all. What I am suggesting is that we spend more time appreciating each of those phases. We also need to spend more time making sure that those around us get the opportunity to appreciate the phase that they're in. Could Bachan use some help getting ready for New Year's Day? Could your mom use some help getting the house ready for company? Could your spouse use some help in the kitchen or doing the shopping? And when it comes to the days of being together with the other family members, with our friends, can we put down our phones or put them in our pockets? How many football games do we really need to watch? What about the people in our lives? When do we focus on them? The point of my little rant is that we sail through our lives paying more attention to the things in our lives than the people in our lives. Jodo Shinshu focuses on wisdom and compassion. But all of that wisdom and compassion doesn't just come from Amida. A good portion of it has to come from us. As we go through life and gain experience, we also gain the wisdom of what is needed in certain circumstances and situations where there's typically a shortage of help available, and who generally gets stuck with the bulk of the work. Now, if you think, as you think about who gets stuck with the bulk of the work, and you just thought about Bachan, your mom, or your wife, welcome to my world. And while this is a great opportunity to give the kids some insight into all of the things that need to be done, it may not be enough just to tell them to go see Bachan and see if she needs any help. I'm speaking from experience here. Not as one of the kids, but as the parent who would tell the kids to go ask how they could help Bachan. I may have had a fairly unique experience in my life, because in the early days of our marriage, whenever I would ask my mother-in-law how I could help, she would just tell me, just go sit down and we'll take care of things. I miss her. But now, expand the picture out, not just with your own family, but within the community. Think about all the events we have here at the Betsuin. And for those events that you attend, picture the people that you see running around to make them happen. Did you ever notice that there are a core set of people that you see at almost every single event? And over the past few years, unfortunately, that number has gotten smaller and smaller. Our Betsuin has been here for over 120 years, since 1902. Over the years, San Jose's population grew and it eventually became designated as a Betsuin. Only one of 5 in the continental US. But over the past 25 to 30 years, the size of the Sangha has declined to half of what it was at its peak. You may remember that we used to have 3 full-time ministers. I believe that most of the people gathered here today would like to know that the Betsuin will continue to thrive for many more generations. This Sangha has been generous with their time and their money. After all, you have contributed almost $15 million to our Dharma Center project during a time of pandemic and declining economy. Looking forward, it will not just be the Nikkei community who will make the Sangha thrive. We need to attract people from outside the traditional community. Our current Sangha is the key to making this happen. Your combined wisdom can help us with ideas and the experiences of the past to help us plan a path forward on things that have worked and to avoid the things that haven't. Your compassion is needed as we welcome people from all backgrounds, just as they are. For the Japanese Americans, this plea for compassion and acceptance may feel like a lot to ask. After all, I'm asking you to show the acceptance and compassion that was not shown to your parents, your grandparents, or great-grandparents, or possibly yourself in the past. In spite of the rhetoric you may hear today in the media, we really are a melting pot of cultures, ethnicities, and religious beliefs. You would think that at a time like this, after everything we've gone through as a country, we would be grateful for the variety in our American culture. It has become so inviting, that blended culture, that not only did a multitude of people from differing ethnic and religious backgrounds become comfortable practicing their cultural heritage and religious faith, but also our friends and family members who are part of the LGBTQ+ community began to allow themselves to become more visible to all of us. They've helped us to understand the challenges that they've experienced in this world, and we've become better for it. We want our Sangha to be vibrant. We want everyone to feel comfortable and safe walking through the doors of this Hondo. What we learn from people of differing cultures and beliefs does not threaten our identity. It expands our knowledge and therefore adds to our collective wisdom. And that increasing wisdom helps us to expand the breadth and depth of our compassion. You know, as Dennis said in the earlier service, you can look at Buddhism through a lens of any other belief structure. And you can look at those belief structures through a lens of Buddhism. Because all of the religious structures I've ever studied have core to them love, compassion, love thy neighbor, protect people, all these very familiar sounding things. This is common across the traditions. In this season of so many observances and celebrations, don't feel excluded just because the loudest voices may come from a different belief system. Instead, let that drive your curiosity to learn more about the people around you who make up the broader community. It's my belief that your interest in them, your compassion toward them, and your acceptance of them will drive more curiosity from them about you and about our Sangha. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Namanda. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Reverend Jones, for that very thoughtful and thought-provoking message. Next, we'll have Gatha Ondokusan II on page 76 in small Dharma School service book, so please rise.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Namanda. Please be seated.
At this time, are there any announcements?
Good morning. My name is Jeannie Nakano. I just wanted to share with you, I found a note in my box, well, the Sangha support box, to me, and it was anonymously written, but it wanted to share with me that I speak too long at these announcements. So I will try to keep it short. Those of you who know me, I do tend to talk a lot. So today, I just wanted to say, we wanted to end the last Sunday of the year, Sunday refreshments, with a nice, refreshments for all of us. And so I'm looking for a couple of people to help for next Sunday. Today you're having mochi. Next Sunday we could use a couple of people to help. And then we start in January. So I have that sign up started too. So thank you, keeping it short. Okay.
That wasn't from me. Oh my goodness, hard to follow that. Okay, so next Sunday, as Jeannie just mentioned, we have service, but we just have a family service. There's no Dharma school next week. So for those of you who come here for the 10:10 service, if it's cold next week, you can just come right in. You don't have to wait till Dharma school service is over. We just have a 10 o'clock service. Then on New Year's Eve, we have our traditional Joyaya service. As I've mentioned a couple times now, Rinban Sakamoto's last official duty here as Rinban. So might be standing room only. You might want to get here early. No? No? You're working on your Dharma talk for that day already? Anyway, so that's at 7 o'clock here in the Hondo. And as part of that, the tradition, if you wish, you can ring the Kansho as part of that. And it's a short service, right? Okay. Next day, of course, is New Year's Day. So we have our traditional New Year's service in the gym at 10 o'clock. And of course, that'll be our first service with our new Rinban, Reverend Henry Adams, and his family will be here for that day. So hopefully you can join us for that. Refreshments will be provided by the board of directors, just very light refreshments for that day. Let's see. A reminder, those of you who signed up for the Irecho project, those dates I believe are Thursday, January 8th to Sunday, January 11th. So for those of you not familiar with that, the Ireicho project was started by, and I still don't remember the individual who started the project, but the book has been available for a year or two down at the National Japanese American Museum in Los Angeles, and you could go down, and this book was created to contain the names of all the people who were interned during World War II, the Japanese Americans who were interned in the camps there. And so, a huge project. So once that list was compiled, you had the opportunity to go stamp a mark next to anyone you wanted that maybe you knew or that your friends are related to. So as I mentioned at the 9:30 service, my wife and my daughter and I went down sometime in the fall, or maybe it was last December, and we stamped names. So my wife stamped, you could do a maximum of 6, supposedly. So she had a list of 6 people on her side of the family. I had my Ji-chan and Ba-chan on my mom's side of the family, as well as my mom and her 3 siblings, my Uncle Dick, my Uncle Jim, and my Auntie Dorothy. So I was able to stamp those 6 names in there. If you're wondering why I didn't stamp my dad's side, it's because they were all in Hawaii, and they couldn't enter all the Japanese in Hawaii. That would have been over a third of the population of Hawaii, so they didn't have to serve in a camp. Anyway, so that service that's taking place. They're still looking for volunteers to help with that on those days, as well as on the 11th. We have a special guest speaker. So Reverend Dr. Duncan Ryuken Williams will be speaking at our 10:10 service. And his talk is titled "The Power of Remembrance, the Buddhist Inspiration for the Irei Project." So Reverend Williams is currently a professor of religion and East Asian languages and cultures and the director of the USC Shinso Ito Center for Japanese Religions and Culture. Wow, that's a mouthful. Anyway, very well-known gentleman, has written a lot of stuff. Hopefully you can join us for his talk on the 11th. And then the following week on the 18th, we have our Honko service here for both the 9:30 and 10:10 services. And we have our annual New Year's luncheon. Again, I think I mentioned that, $25 for a regular bento, $25 for a vegetarian bento, and $5 if you just want a pizza. That's normally for the kids, but for those of you who just want pizza and don't want the Japanese food, you can have that instead. So please place those orders ahead of time. Okay? Thank you.
Hi, this is Gilbert the Greater again. Today, I would like to give our belated welcome to one of my referral from Taiwan. That's Ford Lowe. Please. Actually, today is his 3rd time at the temple. He attended the Bodhi Day service, but of course, I didn't have a chance to introduce our new friend. And today, he even brings his son, Scott. Okay, so when you have a chance, please welcome them at our after-service reception. And, okay, please be seated. And every time when I see an extended family come to our temple, that's my delight. Could that family please at the back? Let's welcome them. I didn't get a chance to get your name, but welcome. And please join us for after-service reception. Today is you come at the right day. We have a mochizuki. And I cannot explain what's a mochizuki, but you just have to explain it. You just have to experience it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you to Rinban Sakamoto, Reverend Mikame, Reverend Jones, Dennis Akizuki, Matthew Rowling, Organist Elaine Jones, AV Coordinator Kevin Kitagawa, and the Shakuhachi Club. So thank you everyone for attending this morning's service. We'll now have closing gasho, and afterwards please come forward for incense. And then join us in the annex for refreshments. And happy holidays.
Please join me in gasho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Thank you, everyone. Please come forward for Oshoko.
Good morning, sir.